So we were recently putting together a white paper around building a fleet budget, and in that we had conversations with several fleet managers and Fleetio customers, and we kept hearing the same questions being brought up. And so we figured if these people are asking those questions, then it's likely that other people are asking those questions as well. So let's dive into a few of them and hopefully give you some answers to improve your fleet budgeting process. How do I calculate the cost of running my fleet? In order to get a real picture of how much it costs you to operate your entire fleet of vehicles, first you need to figure out how much it costs you to operate each individual vehicle. So bring in everything from maintenance and repair costs to fuel costs to insurance, leasing costs. Anything that you have to spend on that vehicle goes into the cost of ownership for that vehicle. And then once you've got all your vehicles, of course, add those together and add in the cost of salaries for your technicians and your drivers and the cost of parts that you have to supply in order to keep these vehicles running. And once you have all that together, that's your cost of operating your fleet. And I know it feels daunting to have to try to collect and aggregate that much information, but let me tell you, it's valuable because if you know the cost of operating this vehicle and you know the cost of operating this vehicle, then you can compare those against each other to make informed decisions for your fleet. If this make and model costs less than this make and model, then next time you get new cars, you go with that one. Or if this specific vehicle is costing more than this one, then maybe it's time to get rid of that vehicle and find something that's more cost effective for your fleet. What happens if I don't reach my budget goals? Look, it's inevitable that at some point everybody will miss their budget goals, be it that you miscalculated something on the front end, or at some point in the year a vehicle failed and you had to replace an entire vehicle earlier than you had planned. It's important that when you miss your budget goals that you use that as a learning opportunity. You don't hide from it. Instead, you say, well, maybe we need to make our budget bigger this year. Maybe we just completely miscalculated how much it costs to run this fleet. Or maybe if this vehicle failed and there's something that we can do to fix that, such as adhering to PM schedules better, then let's do that and prevent the possibility of going over budget in the future. Can fleets be a source of driving revenue and saving money, or are they just cost centers? It's true that if you're not constantly checking your fleet's budget and trying to adhere to it, those costs can quickly snowball into something that it has a negative impact on the entire operation. But that's why we highly encourage fleet managers to take a data-driven mindset to budgeting, because if you can make actions that you know will reduce the overall cost of operating your fleet, that benefits you, it benefits your budget, it makes you look good, but it also benefits the overall organization because you can start finding profitability in that reduced operating cost. What if I'm the only person involved in the fleet budgeting process? Do I still need to create a budget? We work with a lot of smaller fleets where there's not as much structure around the fleet budgeting process. And even in those scenarios, we still encourage fleet managers to actively create and stick to a budget, because you might not have to make some sort of cost-driven decision right now, but you will at some point. And at some point, there's going to be that moment where you have to defend yourself, and it's easier if you have the numbers to back up your argument than if you don't. That's all the questions that we had for today, but if you have any other questions around building a fleet budget or just fleet management in general, let us know and we'd be happy to explore that with you and help you find an answer. If you want to see our white paper on building a fleet budget, you can find that link in the description below. It covers everything from how to develop a fleet budget to how do you use that data to reduce the cost within your fleet. And also, if you're looking for a software solution to improve your fleet budgeting, might I recommend Fleetio. We compile all the costs associated with your fleet into one platform so that you can track your total cost of ownership, you can see how much each asset is costing you per mile driven, and then use that information to make informed decisions for your fleet. We even offer a 14-day free trial so that you can kick the tires and see if it's the right fit for your fleet.